Hi, I'm Coleen, and welcome to the Babes and Booze collab with my friends Melissa, who's Practically Creative, Sylvia, who is You and Me FPP, and our friend Dawn, who is My Quilt Projects here on YouTube. I hope you've been to all of their channels. We had a live this morning over on Melissa's, hanging out, and we actually showing the final products. Spoiler alert if you want to go see that first. Then how to make them on each of our channels. And this is the start of mine. And yes, I was playing with my editing software and all the cool things I could find on it. Thank you for noticing. I do that. So, strap on your boots, hang on, get your inhaler if you need it. You never know what I'm going to leave in the videos. Okay, right now I just got my FPP cut up, and if you want this FPP pattern for the hats and the cats, you can visit Sylvia. I think she has them for sale, and it's just a digital over the internet kind of thing. She also has PayPal. So I was happy to make this pattern. We took a theme, which was hats, cats, and pumpkins, and said go. So I'm excited to see what everyone comes up with. I think Sylvia and I may be doing kind of the similar things. All the wall hangings, the table runners, all those kind of things, they're just too big. So we thought we'd try to create something on our own. I have, and I may insert a picture of it underneath our TV. It has a big space in the center that doesn't have any doors covering it. I wanted something to hang over that, and that space is 20 inches by 29 inches. That's what mine's going to be for. If you haven't been over everywhere else's place and already got that information from us, this should be a fun one. We enjoy doing collabs. Whole lot of inspiration for quilting and seasonal, and yay! Okay, I'm too excited. I had coffee this morning. So I'm just picking my first fabric and I'm putting it on here. I'll have to get some pictures so you can see what order I'm putting them in, because I did, you'll see if I'm wrong because I can't remember now. 4 hats, 3 cats, and you know that me and 2 of the other girls have a block of the month that we've been doing. I started late, so I took one of the blocks. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the blocks, but I figured it out as I go along. I took one of the blocks, which is the owl, and incorporated into this little hanging. I am going to take it and put it up separately. It should be a fairly short one. It is raw edge applique, but it looks so amazing, and I'm telling you, if you got the template, it's free online. I'll find the link. I will put it in. If I don't, somebody comment below and say, hey, woman, get on it. I will. Okay, if I don't know you, you may not want to say it like that. But I'm picking a whole bunch of fabrics. I'm kind of iffy about some of my choices. What I did is I got my Halloween scraps from 2 years ago. We got my scraps, and I had a fat 1/8 bundle, I believe of what it was. What was left of the fat 1/8 and the random little pieces I had, I put into this. And the pumpkin is pretty cool, and I'll tell you why when we get to it. I have the top part of the cat. My first piece of fabric is already on there. It's facing away from me, so my next piece of fabric, if it had a design, would be facing toward me. And the numbers on the paper are up toward the ceiling. I put those together, the raw edges, where I made my 1/4 inch cut. And now I'm going to sew across that line, back stitching at the beginning and at the end of the intersection. And I'm using a 1.6, sometimes I use a 1.4 stitch length on this machine.
I forgot I have purple thread. I was trying to use up some of my bobbins. Now I'm trying to remember what I made before this. I know how to use it. Oh, the paper back I just sewed. Maybe just the 1/8 I'm not liking. I did 1/8 for that one. That makes me nervous.
we're going to be adding piece 3, which is the other little cute ear. Right sides of the fabric together on this side. Did you see me? I tried to put it backwards. I do that sometimes. I'm making sure I've got my fabric where I have enough to cover it. Better too much than too little. There's ways to fix it, but you just don't want to do that. Now I'm starting at the intersection of the line
Forward and backward.
and going to the intersection at the end and stopping. I'm back stitching both places.
I would love for you to check out the links down below, maybe in the cards, the information circles. I'm just not used to this. I'm going to be fiddling a lot. Interesting. Okay. This has a lip on it. Right here. Right, get right there. Hold this over the stitch line you just did. Put it up next to that stitch line.
And that's how you trim to get your seam allowance. Now when I turn it over, I'll use my other ruler to trim away the excess fabric. Add 1/8 of an inch also. See, this is what I was saying. I have to have 2 rulers to do this. I
think I'm going to call this the anxious eighth. I'm doing an anxious eighth. We'll check in to make sure my ruler's still. Now usually when I do piecing, I line up my quarter right there, push my paper back, and cut along that edge. But since I'm doing an eighth, I'm moving that down onto the line and cutting back an eighth. Last eighth. Okay, now this. I'm going to line it up with those raw edges, pretty sides together, turned over where the letters are facing. That barely. I don't even bother trimming down here because it's down here. It's just the seam allowance. No reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is over here.
except that's not 5, that's 6.
I'm going to use it right off of this piece as efficiently as I can. Right sides together. I'm going to go a little bit past on this side because I am known for being crooked. Wow. I should think about things before they come out my mouth. You know what I mean. FPP may look intimidating, but it's just one piece at a time. Just like anything else, it's one piece at a time. And I'm going to use my quarter line on the outside. Oh, I messed up. Okay. It's okay. That's fine. I had a purple one I hadn't finished. I was wondering why I had green ears. Will this fit here and give me my... Oh, it will. Alright, come on, how satisfying is that? Line my edges up. I'm not going to cut it off, I'm just going to use it right off here. Oh, good, you can't see that. I'm not going to trim that because it's good. So I'm doing the 1/4 inch on the outside still. That's better. Part 1. Part 2. Oh, and my paper's gonna stick like I try to get it off. Because I ironed it. Why must you try to escape? That's not okay. Okay. 1, 2. Ready? Pretty size together. I'm going to start at the intersection, back stitch, go down, off, back stitch. If I could find a spot to do a finger press, I will before I take it over there. Whoops. Oh, that. Very close with that cut in my fabric. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna use this piece right here. Now I've got that cut there, it's gonna clear. And I'm gonna stop at the intersection down here where the next piece of fabric starts. Off. You can see maybe right here I missed my line a little bit, just barely. I'm okay with that. If you're not okay with it, redo it. I'm not. Any left over. Four. Don't check them. Needle down, forward, back, and now stop at this intersection. You know, if there's two intersections, or even if there's one intersection, I think a lot of it has where I decide to start as how it's going to lay on my machine. If I start at this intersection, let me get that off. If I start at this intersection, most of my fabric's going to be over here, and I don't want that. I think that's just one of the things you do without thinking about it. I like Halloween fabrics. All right. Whoops. This piece I was going to trim off right here. Avoiding bulk is the name of the game. Whenever possible. If it's not possible, oh good heavens, don't. You can only do what you can do. I think if I land that down here, yeah, there's more enough here. That's going to be fine. Got my edges lined up, and I'm going to go straight across. Back stitch. Quilters, we don't usually back stitch, but if it's on the outside, like out here, of a block, and you're not going to get it into a quilt or a project, back stitch on those, just because when you're shuffling them around, those may come open on you. I'm going to do my 1/4 inch. Move it over. I try really hard not to go into my fabric further than I have to. So, I hope that looks right. Now I'm going to fold that over. This is where my pins come in. I'm going to go through this corner. Double check. Right sides together, and I'm going to go through this corner. Line up my edges here, and when I feel that is loose, I will anchor it down. And when I say that, I mean it's not pulling this way or this way. see if this one's right. Oh, I hope I missed. Just barely. I missed worse that time. How do I possibly miss worse the next time than I did the last time? See, if I pull them this way, your pin is struggling to come back or forth. And same with the other way. It's struggling. When you take the pressure off of that pin, you're gonna not have that problem. Ouch. See, I was being nice and it still treated me like a pin cushion. That was not cool. And I'm going to just stay on this line. Run over your pin. You could have added another pin in the middle if you wanted to. I was comfortable with it staying together. Back stitch. How do we like that? I like it. Another addition to our cats. What do we think? I like it. And now we have a cake parade. And that one, and that one. Orange, yeah. Number 1, number 2, a little baby piece down here. I'm going to use the orange. Okay. Put the right sides together because number 1 is always right side down, numbers up. I'm just going to line that up. And so between numbers 1 and 2, line to line, actually that's the seam allowance so I can sew it off. This is so easy. I don't know why these are both here. My friend Sylvia can fix that. My mistake. Okay. And that is going to be scrappy. I'm loving this idea. I hope I love it as much when I've got all these seams to deal with. Okay. I'm going to line up right sides together. Angles, you know, aren't my friend. Okay. Yep, that's gonna work. I just sewed a bunch of crumbs together. Starting off. That's going to be fast because it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pardon me, 5 pieces. If you notice about my hand, I'm trying to use scraps. Okay. When I trimmed my papers, I trimmed it at 1/4, not thinking that my next piece is going to go on there. So that's that half and a half, and this one needs the brim added. Right sides together. Piece one always pretty side down, numbers up. So the second one goes right sides together to it. That might work for another hat brim. Okay, so then the vinyl, we're going to put this like this, turn them together. To be able to hit the corner. Okay, line it up, line this up, anchor it. Now I'm gonna line this one up. I don't want to repoke that. Ah, yeah, I made it to the corner. Anchor it. And I'm going to sew from this side. Or just put it together now. That's it. Yep, and that's how fast that goes. Wow. Maybe I should have started with one of these just so we get a quick win. I like it. There's number 3. See this, don't you? Y'all are so nosy. That white does kind of mix into that. That's okay. I'm not above getting a permanent marker and taking a black marker down this. I'm seriously not. Oh, I am not above that. Now let's see what we got. Hats. I like my hats.
All right, you've made it to the pumpkin. Congrats! And thank you. Okay, for the pumpkin, I have scraps you can see up on the upper left side that were just the right size that I needed, but I needed some more oranges, so I had some. I'm thinking this was from the fat eighths I had. I'm cutting off some more. And I was going for 2-inch pieces because, and this is what I told you about earlier. I guess I'll wait until I show it. So I want my pieces 2 inches because I want to try something I hadn't tried. I'm just squaring them up. I cut 4 inches, then subcut 2 inches. I really like this little Missouri Star ruler. Those are the scraps that I already had, so I didn't have to cut. And now I'm counting them, finding out I didn't cut enough. So I stole from a charm pack I had. It was trying to decide where I could put them. Because those ones that I fussy cutted for something else that I had in my scraps, I was like, oh, I can leave those. I like that. That's cute. I think it's cute. And math is hard. It just is. I count and count and count. And then I count again. But yeah, some days getting to number 4 is hard. Ask your toddlers. They know what I mean. So what I'm going for here is 5 across and 4 down. That means I need 20, right? 5 times 4? You might want to remath that just in case I'm fibbing to you. I do that sometimes. So I was just a couple short from what I needed. And get a real quick 2x2 square from this and we're good. I'm trying to pick them up in the layout that I want so I can lay them down that way too. And this, I was gifted this from Dawn. Was it last year, Dawn? I don't remember. I think it may have been late last year. Anyway, she had made a beautiful Tilda flower vase with flowers. It was kind of a Minecraft style quilt. And she's made a couple of them now, I believe. I might be telling stories, but I'm pretty sure I've seen at least 2. And she gifted me some of this so I could try it. It's got 1-inch squares. It's fusible interfacing. It's got 1-inch squares, and I just lay my squares down on top of them, and my squares clearly are not cut perfectly. I don't know if it's so clear here, but it will be clear later on. I'm fairly certain. But I'm lining them all up, and this goes so super fast. And this is actually the last block I do, because the other thing I made for this, I will be showing either before this is released or after this is released as a standalone block of the month that we did. And this is non-stick pressing sheet that was gifted to me by my friend Lori Sherlock Soaps. And it has saved my bacon several times. I'm pretty sure it was shortly after this that my iron started smoking and I had to get rid of it. I told my girlfriends, the iron is smoking where it's not supposed to be. And one of them said, throw it away. I don't know what they thought I was going to do with it. Just hang on to it a little while longer. And it was my fault. I'm sure it was my fault. I dropped that thing because there's no good way to set it. I'm going to press one of those lines and pin it to stay where it is. I decided not to press more of them. I'll press as I go and as I sew. So now we're just going to use the 1/4-inch foot and sew down this. And you can see a little bit of white peeking out between them. It's fine. That is well within the 1/4-inch seam that we're going to do. Not hurting nothing. We're not going to get picky about it. We're not going to tattle on me to the quilt police. That's not cool, people. No, you do you. And I was trying to figure out which way would be most efficient to fold it. Turn it around and fold it. Because I wasn't wanting to snip my threads. I did speed this up to 1.5 speed because this is too long. And this will go pretty quick, you'll see. I actually went back and watched Dawn do this a couple of times. So if you're interested in this technique, I suggest you go check out Dawn at My Quilt Projects. There will be links, there will be cards, there will be, I don't know, mass exodus over to her channel. I got nothing. I've talked to her for 50 minutes. I got nothing now.
Why? Why do you walk into a room and first thing,
Why
boom?
did you leave your monitor right there?
Because I was watching the girls talk.
Why would you watch girls talk?
Because they're my friends and they say stuff I need to know.
Like what?
Like Josh should be baptized.
When did they say that?
After I suggested an exorcism.
Why did you do that?
Because I'm a good mother.
I was suggesting an exorcism being a good mother.
How is it not? Can't decide how wide I want the strip. Captain, we're taking on water. Captain, we're taking on water.
You're an idiot.
I don't even have an audience. You know, I was hilarious back in the day.
Whatever.
Do I want 2 inches? No, I'm just gonna do one. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 inches and then subcut 1 inch. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do shorter videos. If you've watched this far into the video, say something. Like, the woman never is quiet. Everything sounds mean when I have a cold. Hopefully that's 20. That's 20. One for that way and one for this one. What did you drop? It was probably mine. No. I'm recording.
Now, what orange cat on top? Hopefully, these are all about the same length. And they are. Because I did it on the fly, but my math is good. Nice. Oh, did I get my wing? Did. I got the wing. I mean, it was a design choice. Isn't it pretty? This machine requires a finger sacrifice once every 3 years to continue running properly.
Have a great Halloween and fall season too. And I hope you visit my friends Sylvia and our friend Dawn and our friend Melissa. All of us doing the Babes and Booze. So you have some quilting inspiration. Take care and be the light you hope to see in others. I snuck another random conversation in between my husband and myself at the end. I say strange things.
I've been sitting here talking to for an hour.
Okay.
To you.
About what? What do you
The meaning of life.
I bet that was pretty shallow.
It was the deepest conversation we've ever had, and you missed the whole thing.
I don't believe you.
It started out, who would you rather be, Captain Reynolds or Captain Rogers? He's thinking about Mr. Rogers. I mean, Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
I know you're a Captain Kirk fan.
Huh?
I know you're a Captain Kirk fan.